Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I've got 6 o'clock, Pablo, so we can go ahead and get started.
All right, which calls meeting to order. So, let's see. We got okay, cool. Got me, Chair. Pablo's here. Carrie Hubler,
Here.
Brian Seeberger. We got Tyler Howard, Diane Hoover,
Here.
Grace Yod,
Here.
and Marissa Matesis. Okay. Well, we have enough for a quorum.
She said she would be late. I got an email from her earlier today.
Okay. All right. So, we got the minutes for last month's meeting. Does anyone got any objections? We do got a motion to approve the minutes.
I so move.
Been moved.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Okay, seeing none, it's been moved and approved. All right, now we got the public comments and concerns.
None.
Planning Commission report.
That's brain fart time. Planning Commission. What did we talk about this week? Oh, we just went over our oh my gosh, Jason, I'm drawing a total blank on what
We went we went over the Parks Plan RFP
oh, right.
and then some amendments to the TIF project list for TIF fees.
Yeah, so nothing too exciting. We didn't get to make any major decisions yet, you know. Maybe someday Jason will let us make major decisions. Maybe.
Someday.
Yeah, we just talked about I think it was the park, what's going on at Allen York Park, the possibility of the boat launch is gonna be open this year, but there won't be any boat trailer parking, so people will have to find their own places to park. And hopefully in the near future, they'll be able to figure out how to find parking areas for people. And that hopefully the new building will be done soon.
We were talking today. We'll probably be moving in mid to late June. So hopefully in July we'll be able to do in-person or hybrid meetings. It just depends on when we get moved in and whether or not how fast we can get things set up.
That's good. I'm trying to think, was there anything else that...
Did I also hear that there has to be permits for city residents of Bonney Lake to be able to use the boat launch and park there?
Yes, you have to get a pass to use the boat launch from the police department, and they will only issue that if you once you show your driver's license showing that your primary residence is within the city.
So again, where I live is like a little bubble, which is unincorporated. So I have a neighbor who's going to want to use that launch. Is that they're not going to be able to use it then? Okay, good to know.
You have to be within the incorporated city limits of the city of Bonney Lake and get a pass from the police department, and that pass will only be issued to those who have their address within the incorporated limits of the city of Bonney Lake.
Okay.
The other things I pulled up our planning commission packet just because my brain is just like, nope, I don't remember any of it. The temporary permit codes, we talked about those, new business, amendments to the community facilities and services element parks, trails, and open space requests for proposals. So we went through all that stuff. Then Jason talked about like the like I said, the Allen York Park. We talked about the boat launch. Was there? So the open space stuff, the open space plan for the city is to replace the 2015 Parks and Recreation section of the community facilities and services element. So that has to be opened or started, and that's the one where we're going to have, is that the one where we have a group and it consists of the planning commission, a parks commissioner, a city council member, staff?
Yeah, there will be a steering committee, and it's looking like there'll be one person from each of the commissions that'll get on that steering committee.
Yeah, and that person will come back and report to each of the other people in their committee and tell them updates of what's going on. I think that's it.
All right, sounds like a lot of good things coming out. I mean, sounds bad for the people outside of Bonney Lake city limits, but yeah. All right, temporary though. Okay, is there anything else?
Did I miss anything, Jason?
Okay. All right, moving on to old and continuing business. Midtown naming contest. Heard it's up the ante a little bit now.
Well, yeah, the Historical Society has offered to donate a $225 prize, $200 cash, and a $25 membership to the Historical Society. Our code doesn't allow the city to provide any sort of prize, but we checked with the city attorney. Since this is being donated by the Historical Society, it's fine. But we did feel, and the city attorney felt too, that if we were going to do this, we want to at least run it by the Parks Commission and get a Parks Commission motion saying yes, amend the rules to include the prize donation from the Historical Society. So if that's something you want to do, all you need to do is make a motion to accept the prize donation, and then we will update the materials to reflect that change and make sure that their logo gets added to those things.
I move that we accept the donation from the Historical Society for the naming rights contest. For the naming.
I'll second that.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? All right. There is now a.
I'll get with Medi to update the materials that we put out and add their logo to it, and then we'll kind of go from there.
I think that'll bring in some good competition that way. I know we talked about it. We mentioned it last month, and there wasn't a way to have a prize money. So this is a way to get prize.
Yeah, I think we really shows the with the Historical Society wanting to do this donation, how important this is for the city itself to, have a part in creating the future of this park. So it's pretty awesome. I'm really excited about that.
And will they help promote it? Promote the?
I would assume so, since they're throwing in there. I'm sure that they will let people know through their mailing, list too.
Because that'll bring a whole different audience to the contest. I think that's good.
Yeah, I'll probably work with them because this is part of history of Bonney Lake. Yeah, it's going to be for the foreseeable future. See if they can do a little ditty on, what this commission's doing and what they're doing to actually name a park. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That was the happy news. Now the community garden naming update.
Yeah, so we've kind of recircled internally on this one, and this is actually going to be coming off the planning park commission work or agenda to make any sort of recommendation. Kind of two things. Well, I want to say probably three things transpired. One, we found out that the leadership team for the community garden really isn't in favor of this. Two, we went back and took a look at it, and while it is a Bonnie Lake Community Garden, it's really not a park facility, so therefore it wouldn't fall under that naming rights thing. And so they are going to do the bench. So we're not going to spend any more time on this. We're not changing the name of the Bonnie Lake Community Garden. There will be a bench installed, and David, I think, has been working on it. He's the liaison with the leadership team over there. And a bench installed with a plaque on it, and that will be the kind of end, I guess, is the best way to put this. But we're not going to be changing the name of the park. And we talked with city administration; they're not in favor of it. And we have kind of relayed all that to Councilmember Evans, and he basically said thank you for the update. So at this point, this matter is kind of closed as far as we're concerned with the Parks Commission.
Nice. Okay, cool. We're going to be the bad guy.
Let's be the bad guys or the good guys.
Well, it depends on who you're asking on that one.
We're off the hook. And that's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Well, I guess just for that, and probably come up about other areas, probably like define what is in our jurisdiction, what's not. Like the art park, is that ours or not?
We are trying to figure all that out. We're trying to figure out how. And I kind of had this conversation with Commissioner Hoover, how the park commission and staff and everybody kind of operate together. For those who don't know, before we had one individual name, his name was Gary Leaf, and he kind of was the parks guy, except for like special events really and a couple other things. When he left, they kind of parsed his job out to a number of us. And my only real two things of this are the Parks Commission and then also doing the long-range planning effort. That's kind of my role. All the other things that come along with parks, and that's why David Wells is on here, that relate to maintenance, doing events, going to things, booths, that's all outside of Jason's kind of sphere. So we are internally meeting and trying to figure out how to streamline that and better communicate internally. So it's kind of a work in progress. And I think we've made some progress, but hold with us while we try to kind of figure this out a little bit. But yeah, that I don't know for 100% sure, Pablo. Those are a lot of things that we're still trying to hammer out internally.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So we don't need a motion or do anything to take that off the agenda? Okay.
Nope, nothing that you need to do. It's already coming right off the agenda. Just as I said, we just want to give you an update and let you know where we were at.
All right. So for the public record, Commissioner Mateus is on with us. Welcome. So yeah, we think we got almost everybody. All right. So going on to new business, recreation and special events briefing.
I'm going to turn it over to our special events and recreation coordinators, manager, leader, David Wells, and let him take it away on that.
Okay, so recreation update. I have a meeting with the mayor and the city administrator tomorrow to start the discussion on how we're going to move forward with the recreation program and renew the agreement with the school district. So that is the most current information. I believe the mayor is going to try to put together some sort of committee to also figure out how we move forward in the best interest of the city and the community members. So I will be able to give you more information later on that, but that's all we have there. For our summer events.
Can I ask a question about that?
Sure.
So what's the pulse, I guess, of the city administration to renew that lease?
Very good question. It'd be nice to know that as well.
All right.
I believe the mayor is definitely in favor of renewing the agreement. I believe that the school district's viewpoint on it right now is it is a city recreation program. and they're providing facilities. And it was thought by a couple of the council members that if we just did not renew the agreement, that the school district would just take it back over in its entirety. And from the sounds of what I hear listening to the school board meetings, that's not their intent.
That's kind of what I thought.
So, we're about to come out with our summer brochure for all of the summer activities that the kids can sign up for, including Action Day Camp. And the fall before and after school program will have registration coming up as well. And then our summer events will have Mondays in July and August for Kids Club. Wednesday nights in July and August will be Tunes at Taps. And then July 23rd, we will have the Taste at Taps. There will be no Bonney Lake Days this year. As you guys can imagine, with the limited amount of parking and construction going on, it was not worth attempting to deal with having a major festival with limited parking in the area. So that's kind of where we are with the events at the moment and recreation.
When is the Allen York Park phase supposed to be done?
I believe September-ish, but Jason may have more pertinent information.
Yeah, right now it's supposed to be late September or early October. They've actually had to shut the project down right now because of the rain, and the soils aren't compactable enough. So I'm not 100% sure how that's going to impact the overall project schedule. So they're working on it, but we don't know for sure yet. But yeah, I think it's scheduled late September, early October-ish.
Okay.
Did-
How will that impact next year, having the Bonney Lake Days with the much more limited parking as well at Allen York Park with the new ball fields, because there's not a lot of parking being put in there?
We'll have to evaluate it this fall once it's fully built out to see what it looks like that we'll have for the ability of spacing.
Okay.
And
As
do you need assistance from the park commission or the park commissioners to assist with any of these events?
Well, let me put it this way. I never turn down volunteers. But everything I try to do it so the one-man dog and pony show can do it by himself on a Wednesday night or on a Monday night. But if volunteers show up to help direct vendors to different booth spaces or help out here or there, then I definitely don't turn it down. And speaking of volunteers, Parks Appreciation Day is Saturday from 9 to noon at Midtown Park. So we're going to have a couple of dumpsters from DM Disposal for garbage and for landscape material. So they're going to limb up some of the trees, the lower limbs, so that way it's easier to see through the park area. And then at 10 o'clock, the shred truck will show up to Midtown Park so people can bring their 2 bags of old taxes that you want to get rid of or anything else you need shredded.
Speaking of tents and stuff, are we going to have a tent booth set up this summer at during the camp?
I think what he's asking is if we're going to have a tent for Parks Commission at the Tunes at Taps this year.
I think that would be up to you guys if you're going to do it, what you'd want to accomplish with a booth. So if so, I just need to know in a timely manner so we can make sure to set aside a booth space for you.
Okay.
So the questions. Anyone else got any more questions? All right. Thank you for that update.
David, just let us know how we can help you.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks,
kind of
David.
You're welcome.
so kind of piggybacking off of that, when we do go help, is there name tags being ordered for the new commissioners?
I don't know because neither Debbie or I have ever been involved in that.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
send John. Is it okay if I send Vodapitch an email asking him about that?
Yeah, that'd be great, Debbie. I just know that in the past that was always Don's thing, and I don't even know if I still have mine. So that would be if you could, because I know you've never done it either because I asked you one time. So yeah, if you want to send
I
something to
tried to
John,
do it. Yeah, they wouldn't let me. Like, I was gonna do 20 extra name tags of stranger dangers or something. I don't know, but yeah, I tried
yeah,
that. So okay.
that would be the place to start.
Yeah, for the new commissioners, we're given official City of Bonnie Lake name tags with your name and your park commissioner title on there, and it's really helpful to go out when we do these events, or you go out to the parks or anything to kind of be identified, so people can let you know what they think, and you can bring those opinions of the community back here to the meeting. So it's really helpful for that. All right. So that's all for that. We're ready to go to the order. He's going really quick. Any correspondence? No correspondence?
I'll say none for Debbie because I'm not aware of any.
Okay. Any staff comments?
I got two real quick. One, you'll notice your next meeting isn't until June 15th. That's not a typo. We are skipping the May meeting. The way we're going to try to do the Parks Commission meetings from here on out is myself, David Wells, Todd Bright, and Jack Niehauser from our operations side are going to get together about a month in advance of the next meeting and see if there's items for the agenda and when those items would be ready to see if they can get on the agenda. As I said, there's kind of three of us that have items that relate to the parks. And so we're going to get together and discuss and see kind of how those, if we have anything that would go on that next commission meeting. So right now it's tentatively scheduled for June 15th, assuming either David, Todd, or I have something for that, or / Jack for that meeting. So trying to kind of figure out how to facilitate our way. I think we will have that meeting because I think you're going to get a presentation that night if they're available from the Pierce County Disc Golf Association. So I know that will be on the agenda. But other than that, we'll kind of see where we're at with the RFP process and what other items come up. So a little change there, but yeah, you'll get May off and then you'll be back on June 15th for your next regular meeting.
Would that be in person or virtual, do you think?
That one will be in virtual. As I was saying, we're not planning on moving into our building until late June. So that will be probably right when we're moving in the new building. So what I've worked out with the city administration is once we are into our new facility, we can then go to a hybrid form meeting. So the earliest will be the July meeting.
Okay.
That's assuming that when we get in there in June, all the IT stuff works, everything works, and Chuck and I and Debbie all know how it's going to work and make sure it works. So stay tuned, I guess, is the best way I could say it right now. We know everybody wants to go that way, and we're working to solve the problem. But until we get in that building, we don't even know how we're going to set the room up at this point. So, but we're not expecting to move in until late June. And then I'll let David on if he has any staff comments from the rec side.
Excuse me.
Any comments, David?
Nope.
Okay. Any other staff
Keep up the
comments?
good work.
Thanks. All right, so cool. Any commissioner comments?
I'm going to piggyback off of Ryan's question about the booth that tunes at taps throughout the summer. Are we as commissioners going to want to do that? Or do we want to, I mean, we can rotate, a couple at a time or everybody can come to one, it doesn't matter. But if we can get people that are like, hey, I know I'll be here most of the summer or whatever. And can we do that?
I would say no more than 3.
Okay.
Because if you have more than 3 of you assembled, it could turn into a meeting. So there's ways you can get around it if we all promise not to talk about things, but just for ease, it would be easier if there was never more than 3 under the canopy with your park commission name tag on doing park commission business. So if 5 of you show up, take shifts, I guess would be the best way to do it. That just makes sure we don't ever run into accidental violation of the Open Public Meetings Act, because when 4 or more of you are gathered in a space talking Parks Commission business, it could be a meeting. So that would be my only recommendation. If there is one that you all want to be at, it's not a hard deal. Debbie and I can deal with the noticing of a special meeting. But my recommendation would try to keep it 3 under the tent at a time.
And others could be out handing out things.
Yes, as long as they're away and doing their own thing. Yes, as long as there's 3 not gathered in the same space wearing name badges, I don't think we'll be fine.
Okay. So I think it would be a great way to get our flyers out, talk to people about making sure we get enough people in, putting their letters, or their essays in and stuff like that, because I don't know how many's come in yet, but.
We have received a grand total of 0.
Bill?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
Well,
Can I recommend that at the June meeting, we have this on the agenda, and then we can kind of tentatively work on a schedule together on who's going to be at which Tunes of Taps, and then also be the purpose of the booth. Besides, promoting what we're trying to do with the naming contest, what else are we going to talk to the public about? And kind of, so that we're all on the same page. If I'm working, let's say, with, Tracy at a booth, I'm saying the same thing that other people are saying the following week.
We
Also,
go ahead.
Isn't the last Tunes of Taps the announcement for the name?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can all be there. We can more than 2 of us could be at that one. Right?
Yes. Yeah. I will.
Agendized meeting, right?
We'll Debbie and I will circle and make sure that we have that one covered. Things you could talk about if you wanted to under the tent. We could probably get you some flyers. Is hopefully by July, I'll know for sure if the council is going to go out for the parks RFP for the parks planning. I wouldn't want to start pushing that out there unless I know the council is at least going to go out for the RFP. Whether they fund it once the bids come back, I won't know that for a while. But we are taking the RFP hopefully to them in the end of May. So by that June 15th, I'll have a good read on that. And we could give you guys a kind of a survey of what people want to see in the parks generally, that you guys could have people fill out if you'd like to when they're there. So I think I'll add it on there on the agenda, and maybe between David, can you be at that June 15th meeting?
I don't think he can. I think he's on a cruise.
I think I leave the next morning
Oh,
on the cruise.
okay.
So I think I could be at the 15th, but I won't be able to do anything with it until July 5th because, we're going on a cruise into a wedding in Connecticut, and it's turning into being a much longer vacation than anticipated.
So if David's there, we can put our head together and at least have a game plan for the Tunes at Taps. Anything would fall on David's camp would have to be delayed. But David, if you could be there at least to help formulate the game plan, that would be great.
Well, and I think so. One of my staff members is handling all of the booths. I will just let her know that we're going to have a booth for you guys and we'll just put it next to the Arts Commission.
That'd be good.
That way both commissions are together and you can kind of sprawl out into each other's space a little bit here or there. So if the Arts Commission has more people one week and the Parks Commission has more people, it's still city booth, so it won't be, so it'll still look good.
Okay.
Very good.
Yep. Yeah. Like I know in the past we've talked about things that are either coming up, current projects that are just opened, anything pretty much relating to parks. We just had the handouts, flyers, and pretty pictures sometimes.
Would we, Jason, at that point,
We'll
will have information on the updates for Allen York Parks in the ball field? We can give out, like talk to people about that kind of stuff.
I can work with our GIS person to maybe make like a map up that is like an aerial photo showing kind of the park projects that are under construction in the city and where they're at as of when we make the map. So kind of I can work with him to see if we can do up a couple of pretty maps, one for the park, one for Allen York Park, and then one for the Fennel Creek Trail. And then see if we can get something printed up on like foam core that you guys could take out there each time.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be awesome to show people the pieces of the trails that are completed and what's worked on right now, and the new bike thing that comes up from Angelina. It would be awesome for people to know that's there.
And make sure they know that was Sound Transit 3 money. That's how we got that. It was the ST3 package.
And that would be great information to say, hey, this isn't just coming out of taxpayer money. It's, coming from, grants and things like that. So.
Which are kind of taxpayer money, but they're from other places.
Yeah, it's the city's budget.
Yes, I always I'm like, yeah, well, it's kind of taxpayer money because they just took it from someone else's taxes somewhere else and gave it to us.
Very factual.
Well, cool. Yeah, awesome. Let's start thinking of what days you want to go there. I know I'm going to be at Heart by Heart for sure. So.
I will admit, I will not be in most of the Tunes and Taps because they are on Wednesday nights. And I either have Planning Commission, Park Commission, or Design Commission on Wednesday nights. So that would be the other thing that I would like you guys to think about is if we are going to do the Tunes that Tap stuff through the summer, do we want to cancel that July and August meeting? Because that's right when Tunes and Taps are going on. So that would be a night that you're not available because you're doing that. So no decision tonight, but something that I think we need to talk about at that meeting is if you're going to instead do those, which is a great use of the Parks Commission, but maybe not have meetings those nights.
Could we have a meeting at I know it's probably hard with the technicalities and the recordings, but at the park, at the history?
I don't know how we would do a meeting and have a public meeting.
That'd be too hard. Never mind.
And conduct business. I mean, we could put something out that you guys will all be there that night, but doing like a normal agenda type thing, I think would be a little hard to do while there's a band playing.
Yeah.
All right. Any more commissioner comments? Okay. You've got one, Mr. Wells.
So, Pablo, I've got bad news for you. Due to parking limitations, the biggest band I normally have of the summer will not be there this summer.
Oh, no.
No one now.
So, no Heart by Heart. Sorry.
David.
As long as Sway is there, then.
You will have to come out to Taste It Taps for Sway.
All right.
And do some
We love
tasting.
that event. All right. My dog's gonna be kind of loud right now. Any more commissioner comments? Okay. Awesome. Then, yeah, I mean, the other thing I have is, just the name tags, hopefully. See if anyone, sorry, my dog's being rambunctious, can get I guess just your dates out there, what dates you are available, top of the next meeting, and keep listening to the community. Let us know what people think and what they want to see out of the park commission.
David, when does Tunes for Taps run?
Every Wednesday in July and August. So I think we're starting on July 6th this year. I think that's the first Wednesday.
Cool. Moving forward to later in the year, I'm wondering if we can do a park tour again. Not till much later in the year, but I kind of want to get it on the horizon. In the past, we have done a park tour where we go, instead of having a regular meeting, we go through all these reports. We kind of clear it to just get a van and go to each park so we can physically, hands-on, walk around, look at the park, see what we see and talk about it, like in kind of real time, and then bring those notes back to the next meeting to kind of really set forward what we're going to focus on the year after. I was thinking possibly an October or November meeting for that. Kind of seeing what the commissioners think about that.
I think it's a great idea.
I like it.
Amazing.
Awesome. And then also next week I want to see what other, if we can, what other crossovers we can do. So I know the Historical Society does their tour of all the historical points, and seeing where we can help out as commissioners too. I know if they're doing that. They did it in the past, like years ago.
I haven't heard anything about that. And I'll have to coordinate with Jack and Todd on the park visit because that's going to be more an operational issue.
Yeah. Yeah. In the past, it took a little bit of time, but I think it was well worth it. Really got us focused into what we want to work on. But it won't be like, hopefully not till later in the year if we can pull it off. But just let me know.
Jason, I drove the probation van and took everyone around.
Do we even still have that van?
I'll just put orange vest on them and give them litter bags and we'll be good.
Well, cool. All right. Pretty efficient meeting today. Has anyone got anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I will motion to adjourn.
It's been moved to adjourn.
A second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Off.
All opposed?
Aye.
All right. Well, I will see everyone in June. Like I said, keep listening to the community and let us know what everyone thinks. And see you then.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Have a wonderful evening.
You too.